Hey guys, I know you love it when I do my walkthroughs and show you the behind the scenes of my process, showing you how I structured the tracks, how I did my sound design, how I used my samples, what samples I used, etc., etc. So here, this one is very exciting because this track's just landed on the trailer for In the Earth. Again, another terrifying film that I'm probably not going to watch because I'm not a big fan of horrors and thrillers, which is interesting because that's where most of my music lands. So here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to listen through this, talk about how I structured it and built it, and then we're going to talk about what has been used, why it was used, and what you can take away from this. There we have it. That is my track, Tomb, initially called Winter. So let's talk about how I started this. Now, those of you who've been watching these walkthroughs and seen some of my other Throat 4 walkthroughs will know that I started recording Throat 4 almost entirely with my voice, which you can kind of hear and see with these things. If I just solo them, my vox fill, vox bass, whistles. I'm not sure that growl was me. It might have been me. So we started off with this idea. This was all done with my voice. believe it or not. So that Vox bass, you can see there, it's pitch shifted down twice with echo, devil lock, noise gate, singer. It's beastly sounds. And then I have my whistle rises that I did as well. These crunchy hits, all with my voice. The idea being I layered in the elements. So that's how the track started. We then took these elements here, and got a throat singer to kind of bring new sounds. He didn't just do throat singing, he did all sorts of cool vocal noises. And this one particularly I like. This growl. Signature sound, hello! And that's what I used. You can kind of hear it here. If I took off the devil lock and the space design. How cool is that? So we just layered that in, and I used that to create the sound design elements and the what's the word I'm looking for? Signature sounds, thank you. And then we recorded growls and grunts to create breath beats. So then when I got home, I did what I normally do with this stuff, and I grabbed my violin and my cello to create the kind of driving pizzicato, muted plucks, etc., etc. And again, it's just a case of layering it step by step, adding something new until we get to here. Very exciting. And then, of course, I loaded up my own sample library creation, which is the string risers, which is... I use it all the time, especially in this stuff. Just dark, awesome. It's just great. And I use that as a way to sort of bring life to this build. And then you notice there's no drums until the final third, really. I mean, that's the beautiful thing. And I think this is one of the reasons why the throat tracks do so well. I don't use drums. They're not drum heavy. I do use drums. I don't use drums much. I use them for effect. Like here, we're going to a new area, which was just a simple tempo change. You can see here, building up the tempo. Another really cheap trick to be economical with your writing. So why did this track get placed? Because of the signature sounds. You watch the trailer and you'll hear the whistle. And you'll hear that violin rake. And you'll hear this. So I used organic sounds that I have recorded myself, oftentimes with this, or with my Rode NT1A. When I'm pointing at this, it's my Rode Podcaster. And I created my own soundscapes, and those sounds are the reason these tracks do so well. They have character, and I've talked about this a lot. I didn't record them well. A single mono mic, recorded hot, which means close, very close, to the point where it was almost peaking, so that when I compressed it, you get all this extra detail. And then I just created sound worlds with reverb and distortion, and then layered on some dry effects, just to kind of give it this sense of distance. Not everything is in the distance with reverb. Some things are really close, almost in your ear, like someone clicking in your ear. And that's how I structured this track. layering those elements. Essentially in my head, I had this. I had this kind of finished thing going on, and I just layered everything in one by one by one, but starting as small as possible to showcase those cool sounds. It's that simple. With regard to organic sound design, thriller, horror stuff, in fact, actually across the board with trailer music, if you can get creative with your sounds, if you can make your sound design stand out, if you can make your track have its own unique element, it's going to put you above and beyond every other track. And these throat tracks do really well because of the unique signature sounds that are contained with almost each and every single track. So if you want to take away from this, go and create signature sounds. It doesn't have to be your voice or anything like that. It can be a synth, but it has to be a sound that you have manipulated and shifted and changed that is there, almost like a boim. You notice I called them boims. They're there for emphasis and for character. So go and have some fun with your audio editing. Go and create some signature sounds that are going to drive your track and give it its own sense of identity.